Hello, hello, hello. What's up, everybody? Somehow my headset doesn't work. I don't know why. Good start. Bishu. Hey, gamer. I indeed survived London. Thank you so much for 43 months, Bishu. Thanks for 38 months, Evelyn, as well. Thank you so, so much. USB noise going crazy? Oh, it is. Yeah, I mean, I can't hear anything is the problem. I can't hear shit. Hi. How's your trip? It was really fun. It was really cool. Except I'm a little bit tired. Because my flight was at 6 a.m. And I had to get like an hour to the airport. And so I basically woke up at 3 a.m. after sleeping at 11:30 or something. Which, you know, it happens. It's okay though. I took a power nap earlier today when I came back home. So now I'm super fresh. I am not, but let's just pretend I am. I did just take a nap. I took a nap and then I did a workout even. Because I was thinking if I work out, it's gonna like wake me up. It didn't. But at least I gave it a try. It's the thought that counts. I don't know why my headset doesn't work. Is it not plugged in properly? I think my plugs are doing weird stuff again. Where's this? I'm plugging it into the... No. It's a wireless headset. It doesn't matter if it's plugged in. I'm out of water as well. I don't want sound with the intro. I specifically do not want sound with the intro, guys. It's okay. I don't want it. I muted it on purpose. Because I'm running music in the background. And if I run the intro with music, then I have to mute the other music. So the intro music doesn't play at the same time with the other music, which is weird. So I just mute the intro music. It's that simple. That sucks to hear, Devlin. I hope the rest of your day is going better. And tomorrow is gonna go better anyway, so don't worry about it. Alright, so apparently there's news soon. Maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe there is, maybe there's not. Who knows? In 3 minutes, maybe? I don't know, maybe. Could be. There could be news. Or also maybe not. I don't know. What do you think, guys? I don't think anything's gonna happen in 2 minutes. I think I think we all just randomly decided to start streaming at the same time. I think every streamer live at the same time. What a coincidence. What a coincidence. Interesting. Huh. Hey John, what's up? Well, let's take a look at Wowhead. Strange to see you all here for absolutely nothing to happen. Even Graal just into his plundering just now. Interesting. Interesting. Well, well, well. So, how are you doing? Hey Fox Ghost, thank you so much for 1 year. What's up, what's up? How are you doing? Thank you very much. I'm gonna try to fix my headset in the meantime. I don't know what's wrong with it. I mean, I think the headset is actually working. It's just not connecting properly? Maybe the dongle is messed up. Good question. Oh, it's because it's... I'm an idiot. I know now. It's because it's put to Bluetooth. What is ANC, by the way? What does that mean? There we are. I can hear now. All right, it's 7 p.m. Oh, look at that! Wait, what is this? Wait a second. Did my video get posted, Kuros? Not yet. Where's my video? Oh, it is live. There we go.
Hello everyone, my name is Naguura and today I can show you something really special because I was invited to London for a special event with Blizzard.
Oh, look at this!
The World of Warcraft War Within expansion, the alpha, with some other content creators. So I'm here in London right now and we are basically having this LAN event where everyone can log in and try some alpha, and I'll show you some.
I guess I filmed it the wrong way.
Oopsie. In London here. So first
Look,
of all,
Annie.
we did manage to test the new character screen that looks really cool. It was reworked a little bit. You can see the warbands, basically like the warband UI, where you can have your warband characters on the right. And
everyone watch the video.
What else we could test was the first area, like the first leveling area, the first 3 levels.
Alright, anyway guys, Alpha is out, yay! And we played it yesterday in London. Okay, if you guys want to watch this video, go ahead and watch it on my YouTube if you want like a TLDR. This is like a 10-minute video where I go over everything that we saw. But yeah, anyway. Did you see what I'm wearing? Look at that. I'm wearing a War Within hoodie. Look how fucking cool it is. It's so nice, right? Well, anyway. So I was in London with all of these other content creators. I had a lot of fun. All of the other people were super cool. So then we got to test alpha in like a really cool venue. So we got to test like the first zone that I forgot the name of already. We got to test 2 dungeons, 3 delves. We got to test a bunch, like there's a bunch of new talents. The Moonkin talents and the Druid talents got reworked a lot. So much. We don't have Pulsar anymore. Arcadic Pulsar is gone. Like there's so much to talk about. Oh my god, I don't even know where to start. So many talents got reworked. Did they say when alpha, like are we all gonna be able to play alpha now? Because we were able to play alpha in London, but it was not on our character or on our accounts. It was like a internal testing thing, basically. So I'm not sure if we can play alpha now or not. I mean, I don't have it. Is there any news? Is there like an article or something? there a blue post? Talk talents? Yeah, I will. Wait, do you have it actually? Wait, no, wait. Before we talk about all of the news in particular, I just want to figure out when, like, the access to alpha. Like, do people just get the access? Like, that's more important, right? Because if we have the access, we can just log in and test it instead of looking at the news. Hey, Kanjo, what's up? Thank you so much, right? Yeah, dungeons were testable too. We tested 2 dungeons, yeah. Well, I'm asking someone in chat because if alpha is available, then it would have been a blue post. I'm asking if there's a blue post. Which anyone in chat would be able to know, right? Oh, they actually have the Wowcast here. There we go, let's watch this. Oh, it's right around the corner, so it's not...
Hey everyone, welcome to Wowcast. Today we're going to talk about The War Within, which alpha starts soon. I have 2 special guests with me today. Please introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Ian, Game Director on WoW.
I'm Tina, Associate Art Director on WoW.
Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Before we talk about alpha, what can you summarize about The War Within, Ian?
Well, so The War Within, I mean, of course, it is the 10th expansion to well-known video game World of Warcraft. But I think more special to us, it's the beginning of the World Soul Saga. It's the beginning of probably the most ambitious story.
I'm gonna go get some water real quick.
In WoW.
And I'm gonna make a coffee.
So as you know, all expansions
I watched this already.
It kicks off with a journey to a
Still
new
gonna
place.
listen though.
But really, this is going to be beginning to set the stage and establish the stakes for a conflict that threatens not just, you know, ourselves and our families and those we hold dear, but the very world that we call home, the very world beneath our feet that's been home to all of our adventures. And if we don't win this one, nothing else matters.
So this character has been everywhere for The War Within. Xelatath. She's purple, she's amazing. Can you tell us more about her?
Yeah, Xelatath is, one of our key villains of the World Soul Saga. The expansion is, part of it is this journey, delving deeper, find Xelatath and her allies. And the inspiration for her design from an art side was really based on the priest artifact weapon that she had been trapped in for so long. So if you look at her armor, like all the motifs of her belt, her shoulders, really take inspiration from that design. Even the runes on her cheeks, those are a homage to N'Zoth, who freed her from the dagger.
Naifu.
Yeah, so if later on in War Within you find yourself, wiping to a raid somewhere, just blame the Shadow Priests for not just putting the knife down, walk away from the talking dagger, and we wouldn't be here.
Oh my gosh.
Yet...
are there any other familiar faces that we can recognize?
Yeah, some of the key heroes of our story are Illyria and Anduin. So these two, they're running a bit, right, from some of the wounds of their past, but in the end, they're going to find hope and redemption. So, Illyria, we've seen her new design that really reflects the duality of her character. And Anduin, we saw him in our cinematic, and he just looks, a little more haggard. He's been through a lot lately.
He grew his beard. He's working on it.
Yeah, I mean, the name The War Within is one that has a couple of layers to it, right? Obviously, we're literally delving beneath the surface of Azeroth and going to be battling within our world. But this is also a story that involves a lot of inner turmoil and inner conflict. And Anduin is probably the most torn of any of our cast of heroes, given what he went through in the Shadowlands. And his journey into the darkness as he seeks to rediscover his own light is a big part of the narrative arc.
And with The War Within, there's new zones. Can we talk about what our new zones are going to be?
The
Guys,
continent as a
while
whole
we watch this,
that begins on the surface and
I just have
extends
to
beneath the earth, right, we're calling Kazalgar.
open up
This is
Discord
an
because I
ancient
want to see what the
home to
druids say about the
Earthlings,
druid
actually
talents.
Just off the west coast
Wait, no
of
one's said anything
Pandaria,
yet.
about between Pandaria and Kalimdor.
What the hell?
Just a couple hundred nautical miles away from
They
a certain
asleep.
sword that's sticking out of the southern end of Kalimdor. But yes, home to 4 zones with amazing, varied settings.
Yeah, so our
Thank you
first
so much for
zone
5
is
months,
the
Maya.
Isle of
What's up?
Dorn.
Thank you very much.
This is basically, you'll find an isolated group of Earthen there. And so they have their awesome city, Dornogal, which we're very excited for players to check out. That'll be the hub in the end.
That one looks
The
really
second
cool, right?
zone is the Ringing Deeps.
Kinda
So,
looks
you know,
like
evocative of,
Ironforge, but
mine
like-
pits, industry. And so this is the heart of Earthen industry. But it's not all just, you know, lava and fire. It's mixed with these beautiful caverns, cenotes with light and water coming in, creating these, you know, lush spaces for the players to enjoy. And then we go to Howlafall. Howlafall is where we really wanted to break expectations. Right, like
I
this
was
one,
basically,
this is a
I was
rocky
personally,
air
let me pause this real quick. I was personally really happy about the stones not all being like super like underground, like very like condensed areas with very little space. Because that was something I was kind of worried about, that everything is going to be like underground, and everything's like caves and blah, blah, blah. Which would have been weird as well with like the dynamic flying too. Because, yeah, I don't know. But a lot of these zones are very open. It almost, like, you don't even see that you're underground sometimes. So that's really cool.
ships.
Right, underground airships, right? The first thing you'd naturally think of when you're going under the surface. How are they going to get around? Well, airships, of course.
Of course.
And then our final zone is Ashkahet. So this is the heart of the Nerubian Empire. This is where we'll finally be able to see the Nerubians and all of their strength and glory, like with the height of their civilization.
I think we'll get into the details of Alpha later, but everyone's journey is going to start in the Isle of Dorn. But I really can't wait until we get to Hallowfall in our testing. And I think Tina mentioned that this crystal, it is such a striking visual element that dominates the zone.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about the
It's
Moonkin
placed
Talents
deep
later,
within
guys.
the earth, a radiant crystal of light, and the way as it illuminates the surroundings, that actually plays with the environment and some of the spawns and how the world around it reacts to it. And I think when we set out to create this underground space, we knew that one of the risks was that it could feel oppressive, that people didn't want to feel the sense of claustrophobia, of you're always in caves. Hallowfall really from the outset was built to be a place where,
Yeah, there's no
honestly,
pools
unless
anymore.
you fly all the way up to check out the ceiling above you, it doesn't feel underground. It feels like you could be outdoors in some vast, welcoming area it's incredibly epic.
When we arrive to the Isle of Dorn, what's the first thing we'll see?
Well, so you're going to see something a bit different in Alpha from when the expansion goes live. There is
That's
an
interesting.
expansion intro experience that is not currently being tested. It's something that has some cool narrative elements that we want players to all experience together later in the year when War Within launches.
So you're saying that there's something like an intro experience that is never going to be tested at all. So we will only be able to see it once it actually launches. I wonder what that is. I wonder if it's like, I assume it's going to be lore related rather than anything else.
But players will spawn in the Alpha on the Isle of Dorn, surrounded by some debris that will look pretty familiar and pretty distinctive, and really is the scars of an initial battle that seems like it didn't end so well. And the beginning of our journey, as with many expansions, is a bit of a mystery, a bit of an investigation of arriving in a strange land, having this threat that we face, these visions, these whispers.
I don't think they like, honestly, you have to give them credit. They've released a bunch of stuff that was completely untested and it was fine. So to say that it's gonna go wrong, I think, especially if it's lore related stuff does not have to be tested, right? The most things, like the things that are at the highest risk to be broken or bugged, would be content like raid encounters, dungeons, like higher end content. But things like lore related things, like cinematics and quest lines or whatever, I think those don't need to be tested. Right? I mean, like they're gonna be fine. And even if something doesn't work perfectly, as long as it doesn't completely break the game, it's whatever, right? So I think we don't have to be worried about them not testing like the intro. The only thing that could be worrisome is that it's the very start of the expansion. So if something is actually broken, then everyone will be stuck at like an element of that first intro if everyone does the same thing simultaneously. But they've released so many expansions at this point. I'm sure they know that is a thing, right? Usually that they are like circumventing these initial like lags and issues with like having scenarios where they kind of like split the people onto different like servers rather than all having them all on the world server. So I assume it's going to be something like that again. I'm sure it will be fun.
That heroes around Azeroth have been hearing in recent
And that's
months,
something they can't properly
but
test
trying to
anyway.
understand the nature of
They
the
do
threat
stress
we face,
tests,
how we're going to
but it's
stop
never
it,
going to be
and our journey
the same
begins
as the
on the
actual
doorstep
launch.
of these ancient earthen people who are going to begin, helping us figure out where to go next.
They're going to become our next allied race too, right?
Once we earn their trust, that's for sure.
They look so cool,
Is
right?
there any other NPCs that we're going to be
Look at
familiar
them.
with?
Yeah, there are going to be some characters that we haven't seen in World of Warcraft in a while, but will be, part of this story. That's because of their, dwarven heritage, and Magni, he hears the Radiant Song. He brings some of his family members along.
I'm eating yogurt.
Moira, who is leader of the Dark Iron Dwarves and heir to Ironforge. She'll be here with her son, Dagran, who is now a young
Salted
adult.
caramel.
Dagran, the last
Delicious.
time we saw him in game, he was this pretty
Actually, it's very good.
generic-looking dwarven baby. But now, the Dark Iron heritage is starting to show more in his appearance, along with his personality. So he has a bunch of these scrolls and books, like really showing that he has a very scholarly nature.
I think one of the fun aspects of just world building and narrative in WoW is we have this vast array of characters and champions and heroes and backup characters. And whenever we figure out where we're going, what the next natural location is, what the story elements are, the first question we ask is, who needs to be here? Who does it make sense to have answer this call, want to step forward? Just as when we were dealing with the Green Dragonflight or the Emerald Dream or the like, okay, this is time for Malfurion and Tyrande to step forward. Now that we're going to this
Objection
ancestral
to
homeland
ice
of the
cream.
Earthen, with this ancient connection to the dwarven legacy of Azeroth, this is a time for our dwarves to take center stage.
All right, so let's talk about the 8 new dungeons in the War Within. What are your guys' favorites or the notable ones you want to talk about?
Well, so one that's fun to talk about is actually probably the first dungeon the players are going to see in their journeys, and it's going to be tested early on in the alpha. This is the Rookery dungeon in the Isle of Dorn. The Rookery is the place
I
where
tested this one.
the Storm Griffins were raised and trained
It was pretty cool.
by the ancient Earthen over the centuries. Dwarves and Griffins go hand in hand, and the Earthen have a legacy of Storm Riders that we got to see a little sneak peek of. If you got the War Within Heroic Edition, you might have been flying around on that guy. There's plenty more where that came from in the Isle of Dorn. And this dungeon, of course, is not all peaceful. It's been overrun by a group of corrupted Earthen known as the Skardan, and we're going to be just beginning to understand where they came from and what their nature is as we fight through it. But one cool thing about this dungeon is that it's actually part of the main campaign as you play through Isle of Dorn. Now, I know some people are instantly saying, wait a minute, I don't like doing dungeons, I just like solo questing, that's terrible. Well, fortunately, in 10.2.5, towards the end of Dragonflight, we introduced this feature called Follower Dungeons. And we're really happy to bring that to the level up dungeons in War Within right from the outset, so that you can go in solo with NPC allies as you play through the dungeon if that's what you prefer. Or, of course, you can just queue up with with friends or random group mates through the group finder. But what this lets us do is, where appropriate, we can really have the story flow directly through dungeons in a way that we couldn't in the past, in ways that at times was frankly awkward.
Sure, I can make it a bit
Sometimes
louder, maybe.
Major villains die in dungeons. Dungeons are places of great importance in a zone, but we couldn't really tie them directly into the questing because we didn't want to create an obstacle for players who really just prefer to
Like
keep playing
this?
solo.
Tina, is there any that you
It's
like?
really loud now, isn't
One
it?
of my favorites is in Hallowfall.
Or?
So it's called
This
the
is fun.
Priory of the Sacred Flame, and it's this Earthor monastery. So one of the coolest parts is the final boss room. There's
okay.
this giant window
That one is
frames
cool.
the crystal that is embedded in the ceiling of Hallowfall. And so I love, the beauty of the room, as well as just how it ties in with the narrative of the story as a whole. And another really cool one, it's the City of Threads. So this one is underneath the Nerubian city proper. And so it's really interesting to see the ancient civilization that the newer civilization was built on top of. And just to think about the layers of Nerubian history that, is in this land.
Is it that the ancient civilization back in like Lich King?
Even far before
Oh,
that
it's even farther before that?
Yeah, the Nerubians, I think, we might think of them as monstrous or arachnid. They're one of the great
Yeah, this
powers,
is
one of the
really
great
exciting.
Advanced civilizations
When I was
of
testing
Azeroth.
alpha,
Like,
like
up
I
there
knew that
with
we only have a few.
the,
Sorry,
elves
let me
and
just for a
trolls.
second. Like I knew that we were only gonna have a few hours, and I wanted to test everything, and I was like rushing through, and then of course since it was like the really like first version of alpha that we tested yesterday, it was all like we deceived a bunch, and like some of the abilities didn't work, and it wasn't like all finished. So I disconnected. It's like, oh no, like, tried to backlog it as fast as possible.
And
Tried to
others that
record
help shape
everything.
the course of the world's history.
My stress level
We've
was
only really
probably
seen
over
hints of them,
1,000
to Wrath, if you ran the Asdrul Narub
on a
or
scale of
Uncahet
1 to 10.
dungeons. You could see, their buildings off in the background, but they were a civilization that at its height rivaled the High Elves and the Nightborn on the surface.
That's insane.
They were able to go toe-to-toe with the Lich King's armies and win until the Old Gods and their forces on another flank eventually led to the Nerubians being overwhelmed. But really being able to explore what they're all about is one of the things we're most excited about when it comes to War Within.
One of the things we're excited to bring is an arachnophobia filter, if you will. For all of you
That
out
is
there
so cool,
who,
isn't it?
could never, go to that spider section in Nax, you'll be able to turn on arachnophobia filter, and all spider beasts will turn into clouds.
Hey, Tomioka,
Very
thank you
pumped
so much for 34
Yeah, it
months.
actually
How are you
looks-
doing?
It works way better than you might think just hearing that sentence. I can't wait for players to be able to jump in, turn it on, and hopefully feel
that's
more
actually
comfortable in
really
parts of our
cool.
world. This is something
I
that
tested
when we
this filter, it
announced
works really
the
well.
Nerubian-centric
Why
themes
I'm
of
afraid
War
of spiders
Within at
and
BlizzCon,
crabs.
we heard
Wow.
trepidation from portions of our community who love WoW, but were worried they weren't going to be able to experience it. Honestly, prior to that, it's something we heard concerns about from within our own team, where there are, people who genuinely felt uncomfortable with these elements of the game that we were building together. And so we set out to try to find a solution that would still, preserve the fidelity of the game, but really make it more approachable, more accessible to everyone.
So speaking of the Nerubians, once we reach level 80, we're going to go to the new raid, Nerbo Palace. Is there anything you want to speak about that?
Yeah, this raid is epic in so many ways. One of the coolest
the raid!
parts is there's this beautiful showpiece that is just in front of the Queen's palace. It represents the Nerubian race, and it just shows how highly Queen
That's very
Ansra
pretty.
thinks of
Thanks for 33
people
months,
known for self.
Bramble. Thank you, thank you.
This raid, you'll get one of the sections of the raid. You'll get to check out her innermost sanctum. This is where only VIPs for the Nerubians get to go, and you really get to explore the dark elegance of her palace.
I think, again, as we were just saying, like the Nerubians, we need to remember they are an advanced race, very, just this epic civilization. I think there's some parallels probably to going back to the Nightborn in Suramar and what going into that city and that palace felt like. We really want to show the sophistication here. This is not a monstrous supervillain lair. This is, a superpower of Azeroth that we find ourselves, facing off against. But yeah, the Queen Ansarek encounter that Tina mentioned, she's going to be the end boss
Queen
of
Ansarek.
sort of the initial season, the initial raid tier. The encounter team is hard at work on this one. I can't wait to see it tested later on in beta. This is, the whole room is really purpose-built.
I love how
showcase
she's,
some
like,
vertical
folding her
elements, and, it's just an incredible set piece.
Hands like this,
But
like
we want to, as always,
one
integrate
thing that I was thinking about, it's like, how every spider boss is always a woman? I was like, maybe we'll get like a spider guy, but guess not. Thank you so much for 1 year, Felina Hisha. Thank you so much. Dankeschön.
the
Danke,
environment
danke,
wherever
danke.
possible into our encounters.
But at least she
You're
looks
facing off
badass.
against both, a very powerful magical user, but also
Spider-Man,
someone
if
who's
you will.
arachnid in nature. And how do we kind of deliver parts of the fantasy of, scaling a web while locked in combat against the Queen? Those are the things that we're currently exploring. Can't wait
Thank you
to
so much for
see
raid
that
pie. I
before testing.
appreciate
Does
that.
that mean
Thank
we're
you
going
so
to get tier
much.
sets again?
Thank you.
Certainly.
Hope you had a nice
Last time we tried taking them
stream.
away, I recall torches and pitchforks in the street. New
It doesn't
tier
work
means
anymore.
new tier sets. And these days, unlike years and years ago when you only
Wait.
when you had to raid in order to get sets, tried taking them
Wait, I
away.
didn't actually pay
recall
attention to these
torches and
tier
pitchforks
sets.
in the street. New tier.
So what is this? This is let's take a look. Oh my god, what is all of this? I can't even tell. Is this priest? The left looks like priest. then this is probably it's probably a plate set, but it could also be arm, like mayo. This could, yeah, it could be DK. It could be, I mean, it even could be something like DK probably. Then this is Evoker,
Here
right?
means new tier sets. And these days, unlike years and years ago when you only
Just seems like
when you had to
Hunter,
raid in order
but
to
it
get
could
the
be
tier set,
Druid.
now you can get them from a wide array of activities, whether you're a
Or
raider, Mythic Plus
Shaman?
player, or
Yeah,
an actual world
I don't
player,
know.
which includes now delves.
Ah, delves. Let's start talking about delves.
Yeah, I mean, delves are one of the major new features in War Within, and I think we're really excited to offer a more structured, progression-oriented extension of the outdoor world gameplay that we know is the favorite of so many of our players.
Oh, they actually know the first dungeon rotation, like the old dungeons? Oh, that's interesting. Necrotic Way. Siege of Morale. Oh my god. Are they serious? Excuse me? Those are horrible old dungeons. Oh my god. Ooh, and they bring mists back, which technically is nice, but what if they fix pulling through the walls, which is a possibility. So if we have mists without pulling through walls, and the first boss staying the way it is, and we have Necrotic Wake with the weapons staying the way they are, and then we have Siege of Morales with the friendly fire staying the way they are, Grim Patrol, nah, there's no shot. These are horrible dungeons. These four are all, they're almost are all bad. Yikes. Yikes. Dude, I was so excited. Now I see those four old dungeons. Oh my god. They're so bad. Oh my god. Oof. I don't remember Grim Battle, to be honest.
And delves are these seamless experiences
I would have to look at that
integrated
again.
into.
And to be fair, like a lot of the reasons why these dungeons were bad, they could be fixed in theory, so shouldn't necessarily be super like upset about it just yet. Mist of Terrasat, for example, they could fix the first boss to not be time-based, it could be percentage-based. The Necrotic Wake, they could make the weapons less impactful or even remove them completely. So you have to play it in a dungeon normally. Because that's, in my opinion, what made the dungeon bad, like the weapons. Siege of Morales, the worst thing about it was like the friendly fire thing that he had to use to kill the mobs, which they can also fix, I can just say, oh, it doesn't do friendly fire anymore. Grim Battle, I don't know. I don't remember that dungeon. Like, I remember the name, and I'm sure I remember the dungeon when I see it. I just don't have it. My memory is bad.
All of our zones, where you can have these localized, varied adventures alongside in the first season, Bran Bronzebeard, either on your own or with friends. And finally, get a shot at some endgame epic rewards just through an extension of the outdoor world ecosystem.
Yeah,
I don't actually know if you can buy this hoodie.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, super exciting.
No one told me.
So one of our goals with building delves was we really wanted the player to just feel like they adventured, came across a place, and could just, go in and see what's inside. When you walk up to the delve, there's this, dark, misty door, and you click on it, and then it just disappears, and you just walk into your own personal delve instance. So very excited about that.
I mean, players are going to have that first experience on the Isle of Dorn early in the alpha. The first delve they're likely to encounter is Earthcrawl Mines. You're going to encounter your good friend Bran Bronzebeard outside an ancient earthen mine that has been overrun with Nerubians who are burrowing up from the depths. Bran will ask you if you want him to outfit himself as a healer or as a damage dealer to help support you. And you'll venture in and have your very first delve experience. You'll be able to choose whether you want to do it on tier 1 or tier 2 difficulty.
Yeah, okay guys, I know there's a lot of information out that was all released like simultaneously. We cannot look at everything at once, unfortunately. But don't worry, we're gonna go through everything, so... I know it's overwhelming, lots of things to look at, but let's just do this step by step. So we're gonna finish watching this video, and then we're gonna go through some more information
Tier 1
that
is
they
kind of the
published.
default. This is for everyone experience. Tier 2 is for those who want to opt into a bit more of a challenge because that's what they enjoy. There will be higher tiers that can be unlocked
I
at
need an
max
adult.
level as part of the end game and seasonal progression. And we really just can't wait to get player feedback.
Don't
from
worry,
the
guys.
outset,
Take
really
my
all through
hand.
Alpha on
I'm
this
gonna-
new system, on
I'm gonna
how
lead
it
you
is or
through
isn't
all of this
working for you,
information.
and whether we can really meet everyone's expectations, from people who just want a casual romp as an extension of their Outdoor World experience to those who want a solo progression challenge that they can really strive to overcome. Feedback is going to really help shape how this evolves, but we're so excited about Delves as a central part of War Within.
Yeah, I'm excited that we're going to be able to just...
So I actually do have some more information about Delves because I was actually interviewing Michael Bybee and Sean McCann yesterday. So I do have some more information on this. The interview that I did, I will be posting it on my YouTube soon-ish. I still need the recording and then I will upload it as soon as I can. But some more info I have personally about Delves, which maybe no one else has. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one who knows this. Is that the Delves rewards are not going to be as high as Mythic Plus rewards can go and Mythic rating can go. So that means if you do the highest content, the highest end content in rating and Mythic Plus, then you will not be getting the same item from Delves, meaning that you don't have to do Delves if you don't want to. One other very interesting thing about Delves is that they scale. They have tiers, very similar to M Plus scaling, but it's not infinite. So the tiers stop at some point. The scaling will stop, but there is tiers that do not give you higher rewards, so it's purely for the challenge, which is also interesting, right? So, of course, the rewards scale up with the tiers. So if you do tier 1, you're gonna get a lesser reward than you do tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, and so on. But at some point, the rewards will stop, and doing anything above that will not give you better rewards. It will just be there for the challenge. So if you want to challenge yourself, if you want to play with other people, or you want to play by yourself, and you want a solo player challenge, or something that doesn't take as long as M+, or just a different kind of challenge, then you can do Delves for that reason. And I asked him about the difficulty of those Delves, the highest tiers. And I wanted them, I asked them to compare it to Mage Tower difficulty. And they said that it's going to be similar to Mage Tower, but not quite as difficult because they're not spec based. So it's possible that for some classes, the Delves are going to be very difficult, and for other specs, maybe not. Because of course, you cannot perfectly balance the difficulty of a single player experience if they're not perfectly catered around a spec, right? So that just means that maybe, I don't know, maybe a Blood Decay has a really easy time compared to a Holy Priest, right? They are trying to tune it as much as they can. They obviously are, aware that there's different specs in different classes and different compositions with 1 player versus 4 players versus 5 players. And they said that they're gonna use a similar system that they use for Torghast as well, with the scaling. And they're trying to tune it as much as they can. But it's interesting to know that there is an opportunity for people, especially for single player people that want to have something similar to Mage Tower, that there's some extra difficulty that can add just for fun if they feel like it, right? Thanks for the 44 months, Doxy, and thank you so much for 47 months, Amrish. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Jump in and get, or go solo with Bran, or you can have friends, but also just get rewards in that way, especially the tier sets with the Catalyst,
Exactly.
and then that really cool mechanical mount.
Yeah, so this is going to kind of be an introduction to sort of the Delves end game. As you hit max level, as you hit 80. And
Why, Sabla, don't assume things. I don't know that. You asked a question I didn't answer. That doesn't mean there are no rewards. I just don't know, right? I didn't tell me everything. I don't know if there's cosmetic rewards. I mean, I assume there's something. Maybe, I don't know. I don't
start
know.
to get a sense of the
They didn't
Delves
give me the whole
ecosystem.
handbook.
Right at the start of that, we're going to give you this epic customizable mount, kind of the successor to the customizable drakes you had in Dragon Isles, where you'll be able to, through doing Delves, earn a variety of different customizations and attachments that you can mix and match to really create your own personalized flying mount.
So does this mechanical mount have dynamic flying?
This is one of the big questions we had moving on from Dragonflight. We had the question of like, well, okay, Dragonflight
Thank you
is
so much
amazing.
for 39 months,
We
Wheatley.
can't
And thank
get
you so
rid
much
of
for
this.
38 months,
But how is
Danny.
this gonna
Thank you
work
so much,
alongside
guys. You're the
hundreds of
best.
mounts that we already have in
Thank
players'
you.
collections? And how, from a design perspective, how do we navigate a world where some mounts can fly in this awesome way and others can only do the old quote-unquote static flight? Fortunately, I think our art team was able to work out an amazing solution for us.
Yeah, we were very excited to be able to make pretty much all mounts be able to dynamically fly. So even Nimron's head, Ian.
Okay, one cool thing, by the way, is that flight form can be used as a dynamic flight mount. I was so surprised. Like, I was testing alpha, playing my druid, and I went into flight form on New Zone. And first of all, I was confused because I already went into flight form. So I was like, because usually at the start of a new expansion, you cannot fly at all. So I went into travel form and it immediately put me into flight form. And then I was like, oh, can we fly here? Wow, that's crazy. And then I jumped and it didn't work. So I was like, that's weird. And then I double jumped and I started dragon riding basically in my flight form. And I was like, whoa, that is so cool because now we have an instant mount and an instant like dragon mount basically, like dragon flight. It's called dynamic flying, I know. You're not supposed to call it like dragon flying anymore, but yeah. So druids can use dynamic flight with
Figured
their
it
flight
out. We
form.
made it work. So
I'm really excited to see Nimron's head going like super fast. Another feature coming in the War Within that I'm really excited about, as well as a lot of other people, is warbands.
Yeah, warbands, I mean, again, I think as I summarized it at BlizzCon, it's just account-wide everything, almost everything. Players increasingly
Thank you so much for 200
play
bits,
multiple
Trenton.
characters.
Thank you
There's
so
something
much.
we've heard loud and
Wait, I have a
clear.
golden copper
There
trade?
needs to be
Wait,
more
I've never
art
seen
that
this
people
before.
want.
Oh my god. Why? How did that happen? I've never seen a golden copper trade before in my life. How does it work? Oh my god, this is so cool. This is so cool. I've never seen this before. Thank you so much for gifting us some Creech. Oh my god, what is going on? That is so nice. Oh my god, how does this work? So you have a golden copper for 24 hours? Oh my god, this is amazing. Oh my god, thank you so much for 5 sub Speedman. Oh my god, thank you Creech, thank you Doxy, thank you Crossref, thank you Steffix, thank you very much. Easy money, yeah. Only for 24 hours, okay. But do I get the golden copper or do I have to gift this up to myself? Yeah, I want it too. Oh look, okay, I see it. Complete level 3 with a level 3 emotes. Contribute to any level of the golden kappa train to earn an exclusive golden kappa emote for 24 hours in addition to the regular emote rewards. Okay, very cool, very cool. Thank you so much for 15 months, Cyan. And thank you so much for the 5 sub gifts, weird fishes. Thank you. Oh my god, let's go, guys, let's go. Thank you so much for gifting us sub him. So all I had to do was visit the Twitch offices in London to get a golden kappa trade. I see. Thanks for gifting us sub status as well. Thank you guys. Very sus. Wait, okay, so let me see. Do I have the golden kappa now? I don't. This is so unfair. How am I? What do I do to get it? Do I give this up to my own stream? Wait, you don't have it either yet. So, oh, does the train have to be over first? Ah, okay. So, okay, I see it. Thanks for gifting a sub status. And thanks for the 5 sub gift, Sebel. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much. Ooh, Matt got a sub as well. Hey, with this. Thanks for the sub. Thanks for 30 months, Speedman. Thank you very much. Alright, sorry. I'm a bit overwhelmed now. Like I did all this traveling and I barely slept. I'm so tired. And now all of these news are happening. Now we have a golden kappa train. Like what is going on? I'm sorry. Whew. I'm gonna watch the rest of this video now. Thanks, I've been a bit distracted. Thank you.
Characters instead of feeling like they have
Overstimulated
to
streamer,
everything
yes.
individually.
There's too many things happening.
The warband is just
Oh my
your
God.
account in its entirety. It is your collection of champions, whether they're horde or alliance, regardless
My
of what
stress
realm they're
level
on.
are probably
They're all part of the same
unmeasurable
warband,
at this
which
point.
gives access
Wait,
to variants, regardless
I didn't
of
see
what
that
realm
one
in its entirety. It
yesterday.
is your collection of champions, whether
Where's
they're
the neighboring
horde or
cat
alliance,
animals?
regardless of what realm they're on.
Oh, so you have a warband bank. Yeah, okay,
They're all
okay,
part
cool.
of the same warband, which gives
Very,
access
very
to
cool.
various shared progression systems.
And then you get to see all of your favorites on, one
That one is
screen
cool, I saw
together.
that one.
So in our new UI, we'll
When
have
I played beta, so thank you so much. So much stuff, Stella. I'm sorry for like being like how I am sometimes when I'm tired. Oh, hey Juventus, what's up? You get alpha access? No. Well, I played alpha yesterday, but I don't have access to it right now yet. I don't know. I played it yesterday though. In London on an internal server. It was not on my account. Thank you so much though. Oh my god, we're level 6. How many levels does this golden kappa train have? Do you get something better at some point? Like, do you eventually get something, I don't know. Wait, it says level 10 emotes, but there's nothing. Contribute to any level of the golden, blah blah blah. Yeah, but the level 10 emote is only like the bleed purple HD emote and nothing else. Wow, we're getting scammed right here, guys. It goes forever? Okay. Alright. Do you always have to contribute more and more to like for the levels? Like, you know what I mean? Sorry, I'm having a hard time right now, guys. Bear with me. So, what I'm trying to say is the amount of subs or bits or whatever that you have to contribute from level 6 to level 7, is that less than from level 7 to level 8 and so on? Or is it always the same? Okay, the cost of each level is bigger than the previous one. Okay, good to know.
bands, and you'll be able to move 4 up into that space and see them all hanging out around a campfire.
Is that on the character select screen?
Yeah, the character select
Oh,
screen.
cool.
Yeah.
That's going to be totally
Hey,
different than what we're used
Relax!
to.
Thank you so much for 89 months.
Yes,
What's
you'll know,
up?
this is a completely
Thank you
different
so
world.
much.
It's a
Good
completely
evening.
different
How are you
welcome into
doing?
World of
Thank you,
Warcraft.
thank you.
What we showed off at BlizzCon was just actually a UI mock-up, but we're
But, serious question though. Do I actually have to contribute myself to get a golden kappa? I'd be very mad if this trade is over and I don't have it. You get it? Just give us a... Okay, fine. Fine. Jeez. I'll give it a sub. Okay then. $3.99. All right. There you go. All right. Continuing.
excited to see people react to the real thing.
There's a
Really,
tune
as
of
with
bits to
everything
this.
else,
Thank you very much.
warbands are a foundation. This is a system that we want to build the next
It's
generation
$4.99
of World of Warcraft
pounds?
on. You know, in 2004,
Really?
WoW launched
Whew.
with everything character.
That's
In
expensive.
2024, WoW
Jesus.
is going to shift to everything being account-based. And we can't wait to hear feedback about what other
Thank you,
areas we
Stefan.
can expand upon here. And that's going to shape not just War Within, but later updates and expansions. And we're just, just excited about this platform that better reflects the way our players are looking to play World of Warcraft today.
You can't forget about PvP. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
You get the
so
most
we
for
have a new
24 hours,
battleground
yeah.
called the Deep Hall. This one is earthen themed. It's a bit of a mashup between Silver Shard Mines and Arathi Basin. So, hold some points, push some carts. We're really excited to see how players navigate around this one.
Yeah, and in terms of how players are interacting with it, there is an overhaul to our rated Battlegrounds system that is coming with War Within. People who've been paying attention over the course of Dragonflight have checked out our Battleground Blitz, our kind of brawl
Yeah, I
that
forgot
was
about
testing out
PvP, yeah.
a 8v8 solo queue rated Battleground format. We're happy to move to that as a default for how rated Battlegrounds are going to work going forward. I think we're really excited to make...
I also have one more info about this. So the vault is going to be Raid Vault and Plus Vault and Delve Vault. And the PvP is not going to be in the vault anymore. Which I think everyone is happy about, right? So PvP rewards are going to go fully back to the vendors. And no PvP vault any longer. Thank you so much for gifting another sub with this. Appreciate that. And thank you so much to all of you for contributing to the Golden Kappa train. And now that the train is over, we should all have the Golden Kappa now. Let's go. You received the Golden Kappa for 24 hours. Let's go. Look at that. It's so pretty. Yes. Well, congrats on all of your Kappa emotes. Alright, cool. We're back gonna go spam it everywhere.
That Battleground experience that personally I've always felt is the best part of WoW PvP, the larger scale, more cooperative, objective-based, collaborative, competitive setting, as opposed to the deathmatch style in Arena, to make that more accessible to everyone who loves Battlegrounds, loves PvP. We know it's a bit overdue, honestly, us adding a new Battleground map into the rotation, and we're excited to do more of this going forward. We're excited to have a new framework that can make Battlegrounds more central to the end game rewarding part of PvP. And yeah, this is just the beginning of a new chapter.
Another feature in the War Within is hero talents. We've been having a lot of articles talking about them. What are some of the other things that we can expect with the hero talents coming forward?
Well, I can say there's going to be no more blogs and articles releasing hero talents, because they'll be there for you to jump in and play. And I think that's the most exciting thing. We're so grateful to the community for all of the feedback and discussion in recent months, going back to the first blog in December. This really helped us shape this central feature of how people's class gameplay is going to evolve. You're going to see hero talents that you haven't yet seen for the trees that we haven't discussed previously. And for many of the ones that we have released, you'll log in and see changes that are directly shaped by your feedback.
How cool is this? Spending a soul shard grants Diabolic Ritual for 20 seconds. While Diabolic Ritual is active, each soul shard spent reduces its duration by 1 second. You gain demonic art, causing your next soul shard, spending ability to summon an overlord, Mother of Chaos, or Pit Lord that unleashes a devastating attack against your enemies.
Heard loud and clear in some cases about what was and wasn't exciting. We've committed to have as many of these playable right from the outset as possible. We will have 100% of the hero talent trees available and playable not long into alpha. And then the rest of the journey is going to be about iteration, tuning, and really just dialing it all in to make the polished experience that everyone is excited about.
So what are we doing with professions in the War Within?
I think when we really overhauled professions in Dragonflight, we saw that as a kind of a permanent shift in how professions were going to work going forward. So you can expect, new recipes, different enchants, but the same fundamental sort of progression and structure to professions that you saw in Dragonflight. One big piece of feedback that we heard throughout Dragonflight, though, was a bit of frustration with the work order system from crafters who were just looking to complete quests, looking to skill up, but found themselves competing and often racing to grab work orders with their fellow crafters. So what we're excited to offer is a baseline availability of basically NPC crafting orders. So it could be Earthen in Isle of Dorn who need a hammer made or need a helmet made,
okay.
And they're constantly putting their work orders up onto the market, so that there's always something for you to grab. The player ones will still be more lucrative, but there should always be that baseline availability if you just want to skill up, you just want to practice your trade skill. And there's also some cool potential for narrative tie-ins, the ability to have quests that now can point you towards that system, because we can count on it always being there.
So with Dragonflight and the profession overhaul, there was also a UI overhaul. Is there anything we're going to see with the War Within?
Yeah, so the UI overhaul, it's basically a continued improvements that we want to make over time.
Hey, Massican.
One of the things that I'm very excited about is the quest bang overhaul. So we're going to have a bunch of new icons that will make what type of quest it is much more clear. One of the new ones that you'll see is one that's like we consider an important one. These aren't campaign, but they're pretty important to your character. For instance, some that must-do ones for your profession, or ones where you're going to unlock the revival.
Wait, sorry, I need to open
Yeah, I think as we
my
move
dashboard
more
real
and more
quick.
into outdoor world
Oh,
gameplay,
Mogress,
gameplay
thank you
there,
so
different
much for
types
the
of public
100
events
euro
over the course of
donation. Oh my
Dragonflight.
god.
Honestly, we reached a point
Wel-
about halfway
Welcome
through
back
Dragonflight
home.
where we just
Aw,
took a
thank
look
you
at
so,
our
so
map
much,
and
Mogress.
kind
I
of recoiled in
appreciate
horror
that.
at
Thank
the
you
number
so
of
much.
different
You're the
icons that were
best.
there, and it was just a kind of icon soup
Thank
situation
you.
that made us say,
Thank
like,
you,
it's
thank you.
kind of this
I hope
point,
you had a nice
we've
weekend
advanced
and a nice
far past the
time
world
without
of,
me.
you just have some daily quests or world
Thank you
quests
very,
here.
very,
We need a
very,
clearer
very
visual
much. That is
language. And so
super,
really
super kind
excited
of
to
you.
just
Thank
evolve
you.
that central interface that players use to log in and see what there is to do in WoW on a given
Thanks
day.
for 51
So
months,
that covers the
Morello.
War Within,
Thank you.
and the
Welcome
alpha
back.
is starting extremely
One
soon.
hundo.
Pretty much working on getting it stood up as we speak, as we sit here right now. And yeah, so the way this is going to work is pretty similar to the Dragonflight Alpha for those who followed that, where really each week, each new build that we release, we're focusing on a different piece of War Within to concentrate player feedback
gonna be
and our
limited.
attention to just really get
Oh, I really hope it's not going to be in the weekend again. Oh, I hope it's going to be like the whole week. Because they always did like the testing on the weekends. It was always like it started Friday in the evening, and then it was Saturday, Sunday. Oh, it was so bad. I really, really hope it's not
get
during the
all that
weekend
feedback
anymore.
in and maximize the quality.
Hey,
we're gonna start
Galerin,
off
thank you
zone
so much
by
for 27
zone,
months.
level
What's
band by level
up?
band. This first week is going to be the Isle of Dorn, level 70 to 73 or so, the dungeon and delves there, as well as universal systems like hero talents.
I love Dorn,
With
yeah.
successive alpha builds, we'll move on to other zones, other portions of War Within, inviting more waves of people. If you haven't gone to the website to opt in yet, that's a great reminder to do so.
Yeah, make sure you're opting into the beta if you haven't done yet, right? It's the warwithin.blizzard.com/hashtag beta. Because if you're not opting in, you also can literally just not get beta access.
We're just randomly pulling lots of folks in and hope to get, by the end of this, countless people into our testing. Once we've gotten through all of those rounds of focus testing, we'll move into our beta phase, which really is an end-to-end holistic
Hey,
test
Galerin.
of War Within from 70 all the way to 80 and the end game and beyond. And throughout, feedback, bug reports, suggestions, all of this is instrumental to helping turn what we have now into the finished product that we want to be the best it possibly can be for all of our players later this year.
Thank you so much for joining me for the War Within.
And thank you for joining us for this. Really, this is one of the most exciting times ever for the development team, when we get to pull back the curtain and welcome you all into this world that we've been building in the last few years. So can't wait to see you in the alpha, can't wait to hear all of your feedback.
Really looking forward to everyone checking out what we built. Thank you so much.
See you guys in the alpha.
Okay, one moment. All right. So let's read this article. Turn on some music. Okay, so defend Esther from the shadows below. Journey through never-before-seen subterranean worlds filled with wonders and lurking perils, down to the dark depths of the Nerubian Empire, where the malicious harbinger of the void, Xalatath, is gathering arachnid forces to bring Esther. So I need to remember her name. She looks cool as fuck, though. Look at her eyes. I love her. I don't care if she's a villain, I love her. Xalatath. I need to remember this. Xalatath. Alright. Freed long ago with the black blade that once bound her, she's now the harbinger of a new era of the void's dark machinations. I don't know how to pronounce this. Her message is clear. The Black Empire has fallen, the old gods are dead, and their ancient blood runs deep within the cracks of the world. We, the heroes of Azeroth, destroyed them, and the Harbinger watched all along. While the Black Empire has failed, Xel'Lotath seeks to set in motion the rise of a new dark legacy, one that knows our strength and will seek to test them against a terrible power, the Nerubians of Ashkahat. Xel'Lotath has conscripted the Nerubian queen, Ensurak, and offered her... Oh, that's the last boss of the raid, right? And offered her people a new future in which they would rise from their isolation and become a mighty kingdom once again. We will not find the Nerubian soldiers of the Lich King here, but a mighty stronghold of Nerubians are, as they once were, deadly survivors of the mythic wars that have played out repeatedly over thousands of years. In return for their loyalty, Xel'Lotath has granted the Nerubians the means of a dark evolution that will turn the Nerubians into a new kind of ferocious and terrifying soldiers. Alright, so our heroes. Several of Azeroth's greatest heroes will rise to call up the Radiant Song, and many will face their own unique challenges along the way. So Anduin, having survived his ordeal with domination, he will grapple with his relationship with the holy light that he no longer feels worthy of. Thrall, he is seeking a connection to the visions spreading across the world and working to find his new place within the Horde. Then Magni, long the speaker of Azeroth, he will confront the heavy weight of the responsibility once and for all. And then Alaria Windrunner, her journey will be central to the events and themes of the War Within. She, as a Void Hunter, must use all of her capabilities to hunt down Xel'Lotath, while being torn between her own nature and the maddening call of the Void to which she is attuned. Along this adventure, she will have unique rivalry with Xel'Lotath, whose twists and turns will come to define the nature of this new conflict, okay? Castlegar designated sector. Beneath the surface of Azeroth, an expansive world exists, fraught with danger and waiting to be explored. Castlegar. This is such a cool picture, I love it. It looks so nice. So the Isle of Dorn, this is the area that we were able to test yesterday in Alpha. Discover the land of Castlegar off the western shores of Pandaria and home to the Earthen. Their capital city, Dornogal, will become the new meeting ground for the Horde and Alliance. The new city is really cool. I liked it a lot. So even though the new zone was not like fully like filled with mobs and stuff yet, but the new zone looked very cool, the Isle of Dorn, and also the main city looks very cool, Dornogal. Alright, then we have the Ringing Deeps. This gigantic cavern serves as the home of the machine speakers, Irvin, who maintained the gigantic Titan machines of old. This one I was not testing. This one I also didn't see. But look how cool this, like the sword. I assume this is a sword, right? Halafal, lit by a massive crystal. Or it's not? Oh, it's a crystal. Okay. Lit by a massive crystal at its center, his bright underground sun is home to the Arathi, who are engaged in a continuing battle against the Nerubians. What is this crystal? Where is it coming from? Then Ashkahat, the pinnacle of Nerubian society where Xel'Lotath, harbinger of the Void, has been gathering and mutating Nerubian forces to create an unstoppable army. For players who are concerned about entering into a space filled with spiders, there will be an arachnophobia filter that can be turned on, which will convert spider creatures into crabs. Then these are the Earthen. And they're an allied race as well. Then here are the dungeons, all of the new dungeons. I tested the Rookery. And the other dungeon that I tested was... I don't remember. Was it? I think the Stone Vault. So there's 4 level up dungeons and 4 max level dungeons. So the new raid has 8 bosses, okay. And then Queen Ansurak is the last boss. And this is the mechanical mount. So this mechanical mount has like different attachments that you can farm. Somewhat similar to how you could have customizations for your dragons and dragonflight. But this is like related to Delphs. So these rewards you get from Delphs. Here's all of the new hero talents. Alright, cool. Let's watch the rest of the video, so... Okay, let's watch this again. So this is my video. If you want to watch this on my YouTube channel, check it out.
Hello everyone, my name is Naguura and today I can show you something really special because I was invited to London for a special event with Blizzard to test the World of Warcraft War Within expansion.
I want to note something real quick. I did this voiceover at the event in one go. Literally, without pausing. Yeah.
And the alpha with some other content creators.
I'll increase the volume, yeah.
So I'm here in London right now, and we are basically having this LAN event where everyone can log in and try some alpha, and I'll show you some exclusive content that I recorded in London here. So first of all, we did manage to test the new character screen that looks really cool. It was reworked a little bit. You can see the warbands, basically like the warband UI, where you can have your warband characters on the right, and then what else we could test was the first area, like the first leveling area, the first 3 levels. You can see they reworked a little bit of the questing and the icons on the minimap, on the world map, and also what you can see walking around. So you can see it's a little bit more clear and which quests are more important, which one are campaign quests, which one are important for your character's progression, and which ones are side quests, which is really cool. There's also dynamic flying, which basically means you can do dragon riding with almost any mount. You can even do it with druid flight form, which I thought was really cool.
Cool this looks.
Then there's of course the new hero talents that we were able to test a little bit. The classes that are already on alpha that were changed quite a lot was the warrior, fury and arms, talents that I'll show you in a bit. Then the druid class tree was reworked, the balance tree, the feral tree and the resto tree. Paladin, ret and holy, evoker preservation, and for monk it was the class tree, the windwalker and the mistweaver tree that was changed up quite a bit. Then we also have the level cap set to 73. That is the levels that you're supposed to do within this first zone. And there's some notes they gave us about the new zone. It's called the Isle of Dorn. So basically the background for the zone is that the main denizens of the zone are called Earthen, and they once followed the edicts of the Titans, but as the time passed,
we were able to play for like a few hours. I don't remember exactly.
Ruin, basically. There are 3 groups of Earthen. 2 are in the Isle of Dorn. The Oath Sworn, they remain loyal to the Titans and await their return. And the Unbound, they have branched off to build their own society free from the Titan edicts. Then we have Magni Moira, which is Magni's wife, and the heir of, I believe, Ironforge? Stormwind? I'm not sure. And her son, and they'll be leading the way into the Isle of Dorn and negotiating with the Earthen to reopen the
Me and
corridor
Laura.
in order to follow the Nerubians. You can experience different sides of the Earthen culture in this area. The Earthen who are dealing with their own burgeoning individuality and independence. And yeah, the zone is not fully done yet. As you can see, there's a lot of critters that are still missing in the zone. There's some NPCs that are missing and some other things, but it does look already very beautiful, and it already it feels like a zone that is not under
this one.
underneath the
Look at
earth,
that.
if you know what I mean. It
Sitting
feels
in a
very
whirlpool.
open, and I felt like that was cool. It wasn't as depressing that all of the zones are just kind of contained within a cave or something like that. I felt that was really cool that there are zones that are still open or that have this open feeling, and where the dragon riding or the dynamic flight does feel very nice. Then I also managed to test the dungeons and the delves. The 2 dungeons that were available to test is the Cinderbrew, Metairie, and the Rockery.
Oh, it was the Cinderbrew Metairie again.
One thing they told us about the dungeons is they're also going to be now implemented in the campaign, which is something that we didn't have before because of accessibility and also people not wanting to necessarily group up with others to do the dungeons to be able to see the campaign. But now with the follower dungeons, they made sure that you can do follower dungeons early on already in this new expansion, and therefore you can do the campaign quest in the dungeon and experience the dungeons as part of the campaign, while also just playing it solo with the followers, with the NPCs provided by that mode, which is really cool, I thought. Then there are some other interface and changes they did with the UI. So the spellbook looks different. The looks doesn't seem to be final yet, but it has been merged with the talent panel, which makes confusion. But yeah, the look is not final. Then the profession has a separate button now at the micro menu at the bottom, and herbalism is up for testing in this alpha build. I didn't manage to test too much of it yet, but this is what it looks like. And then, as I said, the quest markers have been updated, the quest banks, the quest tracking was updated, and there's a new Flight Master user experience, which I tried to check out, but it didn't necessarily.
It said there's a new Flight Master user experience, and I'm like, I looked at it and I was like, I don't know, this looks the same as before. Maybe it was not implemented properly, or I don't know.
Necessarily find whatever was new. Then something really cool is that there's a new accessible feature. It's called All Crabs. So the War Within has a lot of Nerubians and spiders, and there are people who have arachnophobia, and you can basically toggle an option on that will turn all of the spiders, all of the Nerubians into crabs, which is very cool. So in case you were worried about that, you do have an option to turn that on. For the delves, I managed to test the Earthcrawl Mines, Fungal Folly, Kriegwall Rest, and yeah, those are really cool. So there's different difficulties, going from tier 1, which is like the normal difficulty for anyone that just wants to test them out and walks in, that doesn't want to have any like more challenging difficulty, and it does scale up. There's like higher tiers. Apparently it scales up in difficulty up to the equivalent of an M+10, which would basically be an M+20 from before they reworked the levels of M+. So the difficulty would be M+20 before Season 4 and M+10 after Season 4, if you want to compare it to the difficulty, which means that, in my opinion, the rewards would scale up all the way.
So there's some like different info I got when I recorded this, because I recorded this before I had to interview with Sean McCann and Michael Bybee. And we had a group interview where Holly Longdale said that the rewards would scale up to Mythic +10, which Sean McCann said is not true later on. And I think whatever Sean said is correct, because Sean worked on delves specifically, while Holly, I believe, didn't, especially not with the rewards. So I think whatever Sean said to me in the interview later is correct. That the rewards of the delves are not going to be max level as Mythic Plus is. Because when Holly said it would scale up to +10, that would be the same as M Plus rewards, right? But Sean said they don't scale up as much, so we'll see. Thanks for 39 months yet, Blue. What's up?
To Mythic +20 level, which is the maximum amount of item level you can get from Mythic Plus. So you will be able to get the highest item level in delves from the vault as well as from M+.
Thank you so much for Prime, Cassandra. Thank you so much.
Rating, it will give slightly higher item level in comparison, but you can then upgrade them to the same item level anyway, so therefore all three aspects of the vault would be giving the same item level. So delves are not lower than M+ or rating is. They also removed PvP from the vault, so PvP is not going to be part of the vault anymore. It's going to be going back to vendors like it previously was, which I thought was really cool. And yeah, I think that's it. I'm going to show you some more footage of the delves, and I also was able to do a dev interview where I'm going to ask some more high-end questions, some more detailed questions that I will be doing a separate video on, so make sure you check that out as well if you're interested in more high-end deep dive questions about high-end PvE. And yeah, enjoy the footage, and
Lolly Sports, what's up?
This video. If you did, make sure you subscribe to this channel for more videos like these. I'm going to be covering a lot of the War Within alpha content, beta content, and also, of course, once it goes live, I'll be making a lot of guides and whatnot, specifically for what to do at the start of the expansion, so general guides, but also some Moonking guides or Druid guides in general. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions, make sure you ask in the comments below, or come over to my stream at twitch.tv/Naguura for any further questions. Thank you so much, and have a nice rest of your day. Bye.
Yes, these were the delves. I did it on tier 2, which like it's supposed to be slightly more challenging, but obviously it's still not like super challenging. you had, it felt like doing a scenario. And honestly, I did not really feel Bran helping me. I don't even know where Bran was. Maybe I did it wrong. Because I don't even know, like, he like appears and I selected him to be a healer. But I felt like I barely ever got his healing, but then at the same time I also barely ever took damage. So... I don't know. Hey, James. Oh, and this is where I walked to the wrong side. Hey, look at thanks for 7 months. Appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is alpha, yeah. This is the war within alpha that you're seeing. So you have a bunch of objectives that you're doing, and then at the end you have an end boss that you have to kill in these delves. It's not... Yeah, it could be suffix, yeah. So this is the end boss. It was very easy, but... You know, as I said, like, it scales up higher. Maybe it's gonna be more difficult. Yeah, see, I'm standing in this fungal storm, and it... To be fair, it does physical damage, and I'm a Moonkin with Moonkin armor, so... Maybe he just didn't do a lot of damage to me. And then you have to fight this treasure room and to get the rewards. These delves also had... Like a more... Like you basically have like a talent system, it seemed like, at the very start, where you decide if Bran is supposed to heal or do damage, and you also have like other abilities that you can add. I'm not sure if I'll show the interface at some point in this video. Okay. I like how calming that outro is.
Hello everyone, my name is...
Oh god, not again, not again. Alright, well cool, cool, cool. Let's look at all the other news then. As if we can't log in. They still did not say when we will get alpha access, right? Because I kind of assumed that we would have access like literally now. But I guess we don't. So, but to be fair, I mean, we have lots of stuff to look over anyway. So, I guess we don't need access. We have all of this footage that we can go over. Alright, what is this? What is this? This is a new article? Ponder search. Wait, what? Planestorm is perfect for pick up and play. No expansion version is required. Launch balance. Okay. Wait, what is this? Why was this posted just now? Is there something new? I'm confused. So it's just the same thing, but you get more reputation. Oh, you mean, oh, so it's nothing new. They just increased the renown you get, basically. Uh-huh, I see, yeah. Okay, 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 interesting. Well, cool. I guess for people that don't like the mode that much, it would be faster now. Ooh, okay, so they have the new talent calculator up. Nice. Let's take a look then. So... Okay, so these are the new talents for Druid. They changed the Druid class tree as well. So... I wasn't able to like... Wait, this connection was not on alpha when I tested it. This hibernate connection. I did not see that, I don't think. Whatever. Okay, so let's just go through these talents because I did not actually have time to think about these properly because I had to like, you know, do so many things. So I was not able to like sit down and look at these talents properly. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to go through the talents that are basically required for Moonkins first. So I'm going to do like a Moonkin tree basically. Alright, so we want magic damage increase, of course. We want astral influence, but we need more points to go down here. So what else would we need here? So there's nothing we actually really need. Let's see. But thick height is only reachable if you go down here, this side. So and wild charge is actually here. So I think as a Moonkin you're forced to go wild charge, right? Like what are you gonna do without wild charge? So you have to go frenzied region. You have to go. I mean, you don't necessarily have to go Iron Fur, but you have to use like one useless talent basically. Like you either have to go with Thrash or with Iron Fur to get to Killer Instincts to get to Thick Hide. So you have to do one of these useless things. It is what it is. So you go with this. And I guess we need to spend some more points to be able to go down. I mean, I guess you go with this. Or you go with Rejuvenation and Remove Corruption. It still sucks that you have to go Rejuvenation to get Remove Corruption because Rejuve is so useless, but oh well. Okay, so then you go Thick Hide. Wait a second. I mean, you could go with this as well, right? Killer Instinct. It's more armor, which is not super useful. But it's probably less useful than Improved Bark Skin and Frenzied Region, right? Anyway, then you go for the extra range here, and you go for Starlight Conduit. So Wrath starts to Starfire damage increased by 5%. Star's cooldown is reduced by 4 seconds, and its mana cost is reduced by 50. This is like a Resto Druid thing, obviously. Because we don't have a cooldown in it. Alright, then... So we have Rising Light, Falling Light, which we have to pick up. So we go with Renewal, and we have to pick this one up. And we have to go Lore of the Grove. Right? So, but we can't go down here yet. So from like the needed talents, there is nothing left here, I believe. Yeah, none of this is actually 100% needed. So here you would want to go with Thick Hide and Ursok Spirit. Stamina and Bear Form is increased by 10%. And of course you want to go with Wild Charge. And now you have the option, you can go like... Vortex, Typhoon... Ooh, Survival Instincts and Barks can reduce damage taken by an additional 10%. Wait, that is actually... I did not see that one. Ooh, that is very nice, actually. Vigor only has 1 point now, too. The problem is we don't have that many points. Well, we should be able to reach this, actually. We need Likara's Teaching as well, and we need Lore of the Grove. Healing you receive is increased. I mean, that's also kind of nice. here, I mean, I would probably just pick Typhoon and Vortex. And then, I mean... There aren't like many super useful points anymore. I mean, unless it's Raging and you want to go Soothe, or it's Incorporate, you want to go Hibernate. You can go to Armor Increase, which, you know, it's okay. But not necessarily needed. Methods for... I mean, this used to be pretty bad, but... You would have to go just useless talent to get to Oak Skin, which sucks a little bit. Yeah, I'm not sure we're doing that. Alright, so we need Lucara's Teaching and we need Lore of the Grove. How many points do we have left? Oh, 7 points. Okay, this is actually really cool. Did you guys see this? Fluid form? This is actually really cool. So Wrath and Starfire shift you into Moonkin form. So that means you need less globals if you want to shift into any other form. So if you, let's say you Incap Roar or you Stampeding Roar or you just Bear form generally, then you cast Wrath and it like shifts you into Moonkin form. Still have to Talon, Clone, Roar and Soup. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty bad. But yeah, this is really cool. So here, I think what you do is you go Oak Skin. Like, I think you just go down this side for a plus. And probably for rating too, honestly. Like, you have to pick this stupid talent that does nothing, but... And then I guess you go Innervate. Or a Vigil. I mean, here you can choose between... Like, if you're raiding, you don't need Incap Roar, right? And then you go Innervate. You kind of want to improve Stampeding Roar, though. So... I don't know. I mean, 30% DR is really good for Bark Skin, though. Like, having a 30% DR every minute is pretty nice. Yeah, I don't know. We'll do something like this, I guess. What if I want to cast one Wrath, but then heal? What do you mean? Then you just cast one Wrath and then heal. I'm confused. I'll be poofing in and out of Moonkin like a magician? Yeah, but you do that no matter what, right? Like, that's how Druid works. Thank you so much for 26 months. Self-destruct. What's up, what's up, what's up? Alright, then let's look at the Moonkin tree. So they changed quite a lot with the Moonkin tree. Alright, so we have Shooting Stars up here. And I guess Solar Beam is still like a requirement, which, you know, it's whatever. So here, like in the upper tree, it's very similar to how it was before, where you just take the standard talents. Like, you don't have much options here. If you if you don't want Starfall, you still have to pick up like these kind of weird talents that you don't necessarily want that much. Like this. But mainly, I'm not gonna go for a full single target. What is this? Really gonna... It's still a 1 minute cooldown solar beam. Oh well, I guess it will. I guess it is what it is. But yeah, so most of the time we will go with your kindling, I guess, usually. And then, so we have Celestial Lament is a 15-second duration only now, which is kind of interesting considering that it's a 3 minute cooldown. A 3 minutes to do 15-second cooldown, nice. Alright, then the removed Pulsar. Arcanic Pulsar is just not a talent anymore. We have the option between Greater Alignment and Orbital Strike. So Greater Alignment increases the duration of Celestial Lament. And Solar Eclipse increases nature damage done by an additional 5%, and Lunar Eclipse increases arcane damage done by an additional 5%. Which is pretty good. So it makes your cooldown stronger. And then we have Orbital Strike, which reduces the cooldown of Incarn by a minute. So we have 2 minutes Incarn. And it does like astral damage and applies Stellar Flare. I was not able to test this because it disconnected me every time I pressed this button on Alpha. So I wasn't able to see... Because the last time we had Orbital Strike, it was like this kind of like beam in like a line. But they reworded it now, and I think it works a bit differently. Because it's blast all enemies in a targeted area rather than... Like, it's not like a targeted line anymore, I think. I think it's literally just like an area, kind of like a blizzard or something. But I don't know, like I wasn't able to test it. Then they incorporated a lot of the talent, a lot of the set bonuses into our talents now. So we have Nature's Grace that was reworked into Dream State. No, not Dream State. Yeah, Dream State. So when Eclipse ends or when you enter combat, enter a Dream State, reducing the cast time of your next 2 Starfighters or Rafts by 40% and increase their damage by 50%. So this is the same as the current set bonus. Then Umbral Intensity, still the same. With Smolder, we have something called Stellar Amplification. Star Surge increases the damage the target takes from your periodic effects and shooting stars by 12% for 5 seconds. Reapplying this effect extends its duration up to 20. So this is actually interesting. It's like a single target talent. It's kind of weird because Smolder is not necessarily a single target talent. So the fact that it leads into this... Well, it's fine though because you pick it up either way. The only thing that would be weird is if I pick up Flare and I don't want Smolder, but then I want this, it's kind of weird. I know. Either way, this is definitely not an AoE talent. So we have Soul of the Forest, Umbral Intensity, Winning Twilight. Touch of the Cosmos, casting Wrath in an Eclipse has an 80% chance to make your next Star Search free. And then for Starfall, casting Starfire in an Eclipse has a 10% chance to make your next Starfall free. So this is always, like the Touch of the Cosmos is it's also a set bonus. Wait, Smaller no longer based on crit? Oh. Interesting. Huh. Oh, yeah, it sucks that they need to do 2 points here, because the second point is not as valuable, right? Because the percent chance is not getting increased. Look at that. Like, the first point in Smolder here is a lot more valuable than the second point. Because it doesn't increase the chance of it proccing, it just increases the damage that it does. But the main reason... Well... Part of the value of Smolder is to proc Waning Twilight, right? So if you only wanted to proc Waning and not necessarily for the damage, then it kind of sucks that you have to put a second point in to get Cell Amplification, but I guess it is what it is. And then there's Cosmic Rapidity, Star-Lord. Also, Touch of Chaos being connected to Umbral Intensities. Again. This weird Umbral Intensity thing. I don't know why this talent is there. Like I don't know. I don't know what we're supposed to do with talent. But I guess it is what it is. Okay, then, let's see. We need connections here. So there's something called Umbral Inspiration. Consuming Umbral Embrace increases the damage of your Moonfire, Sunfire, Starfire, Shooting Stars, and Starfire by 27 for 5 seconds. It's kind of weird that it's only 5 seconds. Like, I don't know, like, I feel like that is... I don't know. I mean, 20% is a lot. I don't know if this is like a play. I don't know. How many points do we need here still? Just 1, okay. Okay, so if we do this... I think Touch of the Cosmos... I mean, I'm not sure how good this... I don't know. I don't think Touch of the Cosmos is actually that good. Especially if you have to put 2 points into Umbral Intensity, if the tuning of this talent is not that good. Like, you're not gonna waste points to get this. I don't think it's worth. Because the chance of it proccing is not that high. And on AoE, you have a lot of... like, this would be a single target talent, if anything. For single target, I can see it being good. For AoE, I don't think so. Because on AoE, first of all, you don't cast as many Starfires as you cast Wrath on single target, right? And I think the odds, like the proc chance, is not high enough for Starfire. For Wrath, yeah, because on single target you cast a lot more Wrath. On AoE, you don't cast as many Starfires, right? Because you're dotting a lot, you're doing other things, like you're busy like using other globals. So you're not sitting there casting Starfire, 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 right? And you also generate a lot of Astral Power on AoE anyway. So, I'm not sure if this is that good for AoE. For single target, maybe. But then, again, you have to pick up Umbral Intensity. I don't know. I don't know. And then we have Sundered Firmament here. And we have Orbit Breaker. Every 30 years shooting stars, yeah. So, Balance of All Things. Starweaver, Redless Stars. They changed Astral Communion a bit. So you now have more Astral Power, and you get a 12 Astral Power for entering Eclipse. Which I think is actually pretty cool. But, yeah. The problem is, again, that it's like down here. Not sure if it can compete with all of these other talents that we have here. It depends. So here, I assume we want Incarn. I mean, I'm not sure, but I assume we also want Redless Stars. And depending on what talent tree we want, I assume we also want Fear of Elune and Radiant Moonlight if we go with this, like, this Fear of Elune talent tree here. And then we somehow want to pick up this, so maybe we go with this and that. Then Harmony of the Heavens starts with Starfire increase your current Eclipse, Arcane, or Nature damage roll and spend additional 1% up to 5%. And this is another, like, set bonus, right? Which, to be honest, without Pulsar, this is not that good anymore, right? Because we cannot extend our our cooldowns are shorter, and Pulsar does not extend our Eclipse anymore or our Incarn anymore because we don't have it. Therefore, the value of this talent is actually quite a lot lower. And then we have Denizens, which... I don't know, I think this part of the tree is probably not that good in comparison to what we have here. Not sure if you even go Orbit Breaker or Sundered. Maybe... Well, Sundered you probably go with the Fury Loon talents here, right? Wait, let me look at these talents again. I forgot what they do. Alright, so Fury Balloon now ends with a flash of energy blasting nearby enemies for astral damage. Okay, yeah. So that alone would make Sundered Firmament already worth it, because I assume it procs on all Fury Balloons, but I'm not sure. That is also something that you would have to test. I didn't manage to test a lot of the Moonkin talents, because I wanted to test the actual content that was available on Alpha yesterday. So I did not test that many things. And the Orbit Breaker did not work, like it just didn't work, so... So how many more points do we have here? 4. Huh. Well, let me look at these talents first before we do the rest here. So because you have like so many points, you just get everything, right? Like you get all of these talents. The only thing that you have to think about is like the choice options. So, Moonfire and Starfire generate 2 additional astral power. Free automatic Moonfires from... Okay. So it's just extra astral power, yeah. Moonfire deals 10% additional damage. Therefore, Moonkin Form reduces arcane damage taken and other magic damage taken. Enemies damaged by Full Moon, Fury Balloon, or Lunar Beam take 4% increased damage from you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then we have Incarnation, Joseph Balloon, Incarnation, arcane damage from spells and by 10% while active. So you 10% more damage, or astral damage and arcane damage in Incarn. Which is good, but Incarn is shorter now. And we don't have Pulsar, so the value of this may be not as high anymore. And then we have this. Moonfire damage is a chance to call down a Fury Balloon to follow your target. Oh, this is for sure better, right? I'm sure this is better. 1.25 procs per minute. I assume this is better. Okay, then. Enemies affected by Moonfire are slowed. Using Wild Charge while in Bear Form or Moonkin Form increase search. Okay. I mean, the slow is actually kind of nice, but it depends on what the affixes are in dungeons, and then a raid the slow doesn't matter. So in a raid you would always go Loon's Grace, and in a dungeon you might go with the slow. Then arcane damage from your spells and abilities increased by 3%. Your arcane abilities reduce the cooldown of Fury Balloon by 2 seconds, and the cooldown of New Moon Half Moon by 1 second. So I still think that, because all of these talents would work with both moons and with Fury Balloon, but I think it makes a lot more sense with Fury Balloon than it makes sense with Moon. Like, I think, like, obviously, I'm not, like, a theory craft or anything, but the moons, the problem with the moons is that a lot of them have to be casted, and you get a lot of bonuses from casting the moons or the Fury Balloon, right? But reducing the cooldown of moons is not always, like, a good thing. Because instead of casting other spells like Starfall, Star Surge, Starfire, you have to cast moons. Like, just the time that you have to spend to cast the moons can be, like, a bad thing. With Fury Balloon, this is not necessarily true. Because, yes, you have to cast Fury Balloon once in a while, but it's 1 GCD. And you have a lot of talents that just make it proc. Like Sundered Firmament, for example. And this talent here, the Light of a Loon. So I don't see this talent tree working that well with moons. I can see it working well with Fear of a Loon, but with moons, I don't know. It seems like you would have to spend so much time casting moons to make this worth it, which is probably not good. I mean, it all depends on scaling and tuning or whatnot. But I think this is like a Fear of a Loon thing rather than a moon thing. Alright, so then we have Stellar Command. Increase the damage of Fear of a Loon and full moon by 15%. Increase the damage of lunar wind by 30%. And then we have Starfire deals for... Yeah, this is an interesting talent. So Starfire deals 40% increased damage to his primary target, but no longer triggers solar eclipse. This is... I mean, it's very interesting. This is just going to be a number thing, right? Like, this is... If you play these talents, are you going to do more single target damage in lunar eclipse or not? Presumably, yes. Because we don't have pulsar procs anymore. So a lot of the benefits from this tree are only going to be available in lunar eclipse. Like, it had a lot of arcane damage increase and stuff like that. So presumably it's always going to be better to go lunar with these talents. Even on single targets. And especially if your Starfire does 40% increased damage, then I assume it's just better to go lunar with this. But then you lose out on the 50% damage on Fear of a Loon. So this just... Yeah, this is just a math thing, right? You basically lose solar eclipse. If it's worth it or not, who knows? Alright, and then the Flash of Energy now generates 6 astral power and its damage increased by 50%, yeah. Alright, so considering these talents, you would for sure go Radiant Moonlight, right? And then the other talents, I don't know. I mean, Balance of All Things, probably. But I don't know. I mean, these seem not so good. And mushrooms are also not fitting that well into this talent tree. I think mushrooms are probably not a thing. I think these 3 talents are probably not going to be good with this. First of all, mushrooms do nature damage. And we don't have pulsar anymore. And you're just going to be lunar eclipse. And it's like an extra, like it's extra globals that you have to spend on mushrooms when you would want to be casting like Starfires and other stuff instead. So I think like these 3 are probably just not going to be that good. So the only things you would want to pick here is Balance of All Things or Power of Golden if you want more single targets. Elun's Guidance always like a good option. It's a math thing. And Astral Community is also like, do you need astral power generation or is it useless? Because the extra astral power that you get is not really relevant, but the astral power you gain from entering Eclipse is nice. So I assume you go something like, I don't know. Wait, what is this now? Okay, so it's 10%, 20%, decreasing with... Okay. I don't know. You could do something like this. Or pick up Astral Communion. Go like this, like an AoE build. Yeah, maybe something like this, I don't know. The other tree, did they change that one? Let me take a look. Alright, so Dream Surge. Force of Nature grants 3 charges of Dream Burst, causing your next Wrath or Starfire to explode on the target, dealing nature damage to nearby enemies. So it has target cap as well. Did the other one have a target cap? It doesn't say anything about a target cap on this one. So for AoE, this seems better. But they both seem to be like an AoE thing, except that this one is maybe more of like a smaller, like a cleave kind of thing, where maybe it does more damage, but it's not target capped. Or it is target capped. And it has nature damage, which is... Like, I think anything that does nature damage is just bad for AoE without Pulsar. Because we're not going to enter Solar Eclipse on single targets. So Mushrooms got nerfed passively because of Pulsar getting removed, right? So now we don't have... Like, we're just going to be in Solar Eclipse a lot less often than we were before with Pulsar in AoE. Thanks for 42 months, Xylin. What's up? Thank you, thank you. Alright. Then, Transit the Moon. Your chains cast move at nearby targets about once every 6 seconds. I personally think this is a bad talent. I think this does kind of nothing. Your max mana is increased by 5%, your max astral power is increased by 30%. This is also like a nothing talent. If you have this talent though, and this talent, then you have 140 astral power. Which, to be fair, it does make you a lot more mobile, I would say. Well, I don't want to say a lot more, but it certainly does make you more mobile because the astral power you're spending at the start of an eclipse to get your Star-Lord up and stuff is not going to be all of your astral power. So you can hover astral power and actually use it while moving. Well, without losing as much damage because you're not stacking up your Star-Lord anymore. So... And this is just an 8% DR, but you have to cast Regrowth, which is it's okay, but I'd rather have the thing from the other build that just like get permanent magic DR. Then casting Star Sorcerer Serve increases the damage of your next Star Sorcerer Serve by 10%, staying up to 2 times. Casting another spell cancels effect. Yeah, this is a very weird talent. I don't like this talent at all. Yeah, I really don't like this talent. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't know. This is like the same thing as Star-Lord. I mean, it fits in with the other talents. But, I just don't like this playstyle where you just enter an eclipse and you spam a bunch of spenders. I mean, this kind of, like, it synergizes well with Astral Communion and Expensiveness, but it removes the exact thing that I just said earlier. You know, when I said that Expensiveness and Astral Communion together would make us more mobile? Now this removes it again. So now, if you want to use this properly, you have to get rid of... Yeah, I understand that they're... Okay, so... Here's the thing. We had a legendary legion called the Emerald Dreambinder, right? And the Emerald Dreambinder was a legendary that... if you cast a Star Search, you get a buff for 2 seconds that reduced the cost of your Star Search by some astral power. If you cast it again, it's stacked up again. And then you were, like... Basically, it created a playstyle where you were weaving in spells. So you were like, you casted Star Search, Wrath, Wrath, Star Search, Wrath, Starfire, Star Search, Wrath, Wrath, Star Search, New Moon, Star Search, Full Moon, Star Search, until you were completely out of astral power, and you were trying to gain as much astral power as possible during the cycle, and then you pulled up all the way again, which was an interesting playstyle, and I actually liked it a lot. But it was a pure single target playstyle, and it was it made you very mobile, and it only really worked because we didn't have an Eclipse system back then, and it was only fun because of, I feel like because of this, the weaving of the spells made it fun, because to me personally, because you had to like really change your playstyle depending on how much haste you had, and it was just kind of fun. And now I feel like they're trying to bring back this ED playstyle, but without the fun parts, only the bad parts. Because the bad parts about ED was that it made you immobile, and that's what these talents are doing. Like Rattle and Star-Lord and the Cenarius Might, they all kind of quote-unquote forced you to spend all of your Astral Power at the start of the Eclipse, which makes you incredibly mobile because you're not allowed to pool Astral Power as like a mobility benefit, which is something that, in my opinion, Moonkin really lacks. That's a fun part about being a caster, is that you can play around movement. But with this new talent tree, and with us being forced into Rattle and Star-Lord and into maybe this talent as well, we can't do that. We cannot play around movement without losing a lot of damage. And I think that really sucks. Because that is what made... Like that, I feel like that's what really is something that as a caster you want to play around, right? As a caster, playing around movement and not losing so much damage while moving is like a skill that you can learn, and I think it's a cool skill to have. It makes a caster, right? A good caster will be able to play around movements by losing as little damage as possible. And a not so good caster will lose a lot of damage while moving. And Moonkin in the past had the capability of pooling Astral Power just in case you had to move, so you could spend your Astral Power while moving, so you don't lose any damage while moving. But yeah, all of these talents that I said are just completely ruining that part of Moonkin playstyle, or caster playstyle in general, because if you don't spend all of your Astral Power, then you don't get the full benefit of these talents, and you lose damage. So you either use all of your Astral Power to get the full benefit, and then you lose damage while moving, or you don't use all of your Astral Power, which means you lose damage because you don't get the full potential of these talents, but then you wouldn't be losing as much damage while moving. So it's like a trade-off that both feels bad. So I don't like that they bring these kind of talents, but I don't know. I just don't like them personally. Maybe some people like this kind of playstyle where you enter an Eclipse and you spend all of your Astral Power, and then you pool again. Like maybe some people like this. I personally, I'm just not a fan. So I don't like this tree is like, it's not my thing. Then we have Power of Nature. Your Force of Nature trains no longer taunt and deal 1% increased melee damage. Your Force of Nature trains have 5% increased health. I also don't like that this tree is focusing on Force of Nature, because in my opinion, Force of Nature is just like I don't like Force of Nature because the trees are pets that cannot be controlled, and I don't know, like it's just I don't like pets at all personally, but especially pets that cannot be controlled, that just attack whatever and can't do anything about it. It's like, I don't know, not a fan. So this is, yeah. Then, Wrath and Server damage increased by 12%. Orbital Strike applies to electrify for 4 additional seconds. Pulsar grants 2 additional seconds? Wait a second. I guess they have to change the talent. Then, every 5 Regos you cast makes your next Wrath Star... Okay, every 5 stars you cast makes your next Rego for any other instant. There's a lot of utility talents in this tree. Force of Nature grants additional stack of Dream Burst. Stars might increase spell potency by an additional 5%. Time elapsed while your major ability are available to be used. 600 abilities cooldown after next time you used it, up to 5 seconds. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think this tree just sucks. I really hope numerically it's not better than the other tree, because this tree, in my opinion, I don't like it. I just don't like the implication it has on my playstyle. It might be better number-wise, which, to be honest, I doubt. If anything, it would be better for Signal Target. But, yeah, I'm not a fan of the stream. I don't like it. Alright. Oops, 1 second. Let's see what the druids are saying. Wait, Roar's? Oh, I see. Okay, never mind. Let's see what Froyo made. And Froyo made the same tree as I did, kind of. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is the only tree that really makes sense. Wait, he didn't pick up Fluid Form. I think Fluid Form's good. Yeah, I think like the talent I made earlier with the Fury Balloon thing, you're gonna have so many Fury Balloons up simultaneously. It's gonna be kind of interesting, and they're all gonna be exploding separately. I guess I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I really want to test that build, the Fury Balloon build. Oh god, there's too much text. I can't read I can't read all of this. Oh, there's too many news. You guys wanna watch a dungeon? I have the footage for a whole dungeon if you guys wanna watch it. Yeah, I think this line is wrong. I'm not 100% sure though. Let me take a look at my footage from Alpha. You can have Google Drive be dark mode now? Oh my god, it's so pretty. Oh my god, I love it. Very nice, very nice. Yeah, look. Look, this is the footage I had from yesterday, and it was not connected. So I think this line is just wrong. That Wowhead has. Thank you so much for 42 months, Victoria. What's up? Yeah, this is what I captured yesterday from Alpha, and you see there's no line, right? So this is wrong. Alright, let's take a look at the dungeon then. Let me see if I can find the footage for it. I think some of the stuff didn't upload. In fact, a lot of it didn't upload. I guess I guess there's just some missing footage then. Did I miss the whole dungeon footage? I don't know. It was a bit chaotic yesterday. It's possible that I didn't manage to upload the dungeon footage. Let's download this. So, the NA people also had a meetup, right? Where did they meet? Does anyone have the information on that one? Where did they go? Is the War Within looking fun? I mean, it is looking fun, but the content that I tested was not really high-end content, so it's hard for me to judge, because I'm not a person that likes pretty much anything other than high-end content, and that one was not testable for me. But I mean, it looks good. the talents were released, or a lot of the talents were changed. So that is somewhat promising. Also, I did want to say one thing about the talent trees. And you know how the talent trees were supposed to be this like not borrowed power thing? Like, do you remember, like, they released the talent tree in Dragonflight, and they specifically released it because people were mad about borrowed power. That only goes for an expansion and then it's gone. So they released the talent trees to stay forever, basically. But you know the fun part is that they're changing the talent trees each expansion, meaning that they're basically borrowed power. Except it's not as obvious. Which, I mean, it is good that they're changing them, because otherwise it would be boring. But, like, let's be honest here, they're changing the talent trees so much that it's basically just a new thing again. So whatever we had in Dragonflight is gone, meaning that the talents in Dragonflight were borrowed power. Because they're gone now. In the next expansion. So they're like tricking us into believing that it's not borrowed power, when it in fact is borrowed power. I think the reason why they get rid of Pulsar is because it's too OP and it interacts with too many things. I think it's fine that they get rid of Pulsar. I think Pulsar was too, like, either they needed to get rid of Pulsar, or make it a baseline talent that is just part of our kit, and then balance everything around Pulsar. Because Pulsar affected so many talents that they had a hard time, like, balancing it. Pulsar had so much value for it to be a talent. Because all of the talents that happen when you enter an eclipse, when you exit an eclipse, when you, like, all of these things had like infinite value with the Pulsar, with the combination. Also the set bonuses had I mean, there was so much stuff that interacted with Pulsar. So the only option, in my opinion, for it to be balanceable is to remove it or to make it baseline. And they decided to remove it, which in my opinion is okay. It's fine. If they balance everything else appropriately, because the problem, of course, with losing Pulsar is that we're gonna like, our consistency of damage is going to go down. Especially because we have 3-minute cooldowns. So they need to either, like, make our cooldowns worse to make sure we're not so reliant on them, and then buff everything else. Or, you know, like, it's just a number thing. They can tune it in the end. But, yeah. Alright, let's see. Okay, so this one does not... Oh, yeah, this one has the dungeon footage. I found it. I guess we just didn't include any of this in the video, but it's fine. Alright, so here is where we did a dungeon. Like, we need to use Orbital Strike now. 3-minute with Pulsar will be terrible. See, no. No. Like, this is a tuning thing, right? Just because we don't have Pulsar does not mean that we're not going to do a lot of damage outside of our cooldowns if they just change the numbers to buff our non-Pulsar damage. Or non-Incarn damage, basically, right? It's just a tuning thing, honestly. Like, all of this, the damage with the Fury of Loons, like this arcane damage with the Fury of Loons, that one is not necessarily buffed by Pulsar when you think about it. Like this tree, this talent tree. Let me find it. There. So if you look at this talent tree, Loon's Chosen, like, all of these talents increase arcane damage, and give us like a lot of things that scale with only arcane damage. Which means that the value of Pulsar for this particular tree is very low. Because what does Pulsar do, or what does Incarn do in general? It gives us more astral damage. Right? It doesn't give us more arcane damage in particular. It's the same as if we were in Lunar Eclipse for arcane damage. Outside of the extra damage that we get from like the haste and from the crit chance that we're getting. But outside of the crit and the haste chance we get extra, we only get the extra nature damage in comparison to only Lunar Eclipse, right? But if the nature damage, if we don't do extra nature damage, so if we don't do astral damage, then it doesn't matter as much. So this tree here, for example, is not going to be buffed as much by Pulsar. So that means we're not necessarily gonna be super, like, we don't necessarily are super reliant on Incarn anymore if we do a lot of arcane damage. And same goes with nature damage, of course. If we get a lot of extra nature damage, then we're not reliant on Incarn because we just go into Solar Eclipse all the time. And Solar Eclipse will be similar to Incarn if we only scale with nature damage. Now, of course, we still have Star Search and Starfall that is always going to be astral damage. So they will always do more damage than Incarn, but yeah. It's just a number thing, like a tuning thing. No matter the tuning, 2 minutes is always going to be better. No, I mean, why? It's just it's literally a number thing. Pulsar is not by default better. Now, of course, Pulsar, Orbital Strike is not by default better. The one thing that Orbital Strike, of course, does is that it will line up our cooldowns with other people's cooldowns. But that's just an encounter-dependent thing, right? On some encounters, it does not matter as much that we have 3-minute cooldowns. And then other encounters, it matters a lot. Then if it also depends on, like, Aug Evokers and something like PI and stuff like that. Tuning our damage outside of the cities won't change the fact that 2 minutes is better than 3 minutes. But that's not true. 2 minutes is not always better than 3 minutes. Right? Like, that is not true. If you play a boss fight that lasts 4 minutes, then you get exactly 2 Incarns, no matter if your Incarn is 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Right? So that would be one scenario where the 2 minute would be better than 3 minutes. But you're also ignoring the fact that you're spending a point on the Orbital Strike instead of on the other talent. So it's not, you're not comparing a 2-minute Incarn to a 3-minute Incarn. What you have to compare is a 2-minute Incarn to the other talent that you would be picking otherwise. Right? It's not Orbital Strike versus nothing. It's Orbital Strike versus another talent that you would pick with that point, right? Thanks for 15 months, Nadia, and what's up? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Alright. I'm gonna be back 1 second, and then I'm gonna show you the footage of this dungeon that I did on Alpha, okay? 1 sec, 1 sec. It was actually a fun dungeon. We actually had some trouble in there. 1 sec. All right. Hey Tom, what's up? Stellar Drift returns? Oh, we're not gonna get Stellar Drift back. That's not happening. We would only get Stellar Drift back if they would change Starfall to be a targeted spell again, and most people don't want that. I personally would have rather had Starfall to be a targeted spell and have Stellar Drift back. But people lost their minds, so unfortunately, yeah. Thanks for 74 months, Kobo. What's up? How are you doing? Thank you so much. Okay. So we did this Cinderbrew meadery. And this is what it looked like. My talent or my keybinds didn't really work here to start, so I was like, Hey Daisy, thank you so much for 21 months. How are you? And thanks for 17 months, Pentilla as well. Thank you guys. You're the best. So this one actually did a decent amount of damage. Look at that. Like, it's just a heroic dungeon, right? We actually took a decent amount of damage. I mean, I'm sure we did something wrong as well. And we also pulled a bunch. The one thing that was really annoying about this trash was there's like a constant pushback. Like there was some ability that was not interrupted. This Mighty Stomp. Yeah, this guy did Mighty Stomp. And it was not disruptible. And it would just knock you. This Mighty Stomp, there you go. I guess you can line of sight it maybe. So I heard the arranged dinner with someone from Echo included some mist people and then ditched them, so they were alone with mist again. Yes. Exactly, that is what I did. Hey, I mean, the fact that I was there until 11:30 when I had to wake up at 3 a.m. was already something, okay? Also, I paid for some of their drinks. That has to be good enough. Keep it to growth does not look good. Yeah, I agree. It doesn't. Right, so this is a boss who does this weird like frontal thing, and then he spawns pools underneath players, and at some point you have to pick up beer and give it to like people. There we go. So he does happy hour, he gets 99% damage reduction. And he casts Rowdy Yell, which is damage. So they like throw around stuff at you, like they throw mugs at you. And if you pick up a beer, I think you just, like, you pick it up and then you go close to the people and then it will give them beer and then they will not be mad anymore. See, I have a beer now and if I walk close... I just didn't know how to do this. I guess it works automatically. Like, there's an extra action button. I think once you have a beer on you, you just have to go close and it will throw it automatically. And that's it. The balance feel, I don't know. It's hard. I didn't have any interface or anything. I didn't have damage meters. Like, so I don't know. Do you know if Dragonflight Support will have an awakened rate in the first week? Awakened rate? You mean a fated rate? Yes. Yes, it will. One thing I'm interested about, though... Like, let me pause this for a second. we didn't hear anything about affixes, right? Like, we didn't hear anything about this fated season at all, honestly. Like, of course, we're busy with Alpha now, but... Like, are we gonna get affixes in this fated season? Or, like... I mean, raid affixes, you know? Oh, they said no affixes. Oh, okay, so no affixes, okay. But they are rotating the raids, and we get dinars, right? That has been confirmed. Mm. Okay. Here we just kept dying because... So there's like a mob that spawns a totem that has to be killed within a certain time frame, and if it's not killed, it actually does a lot of damage. Like, it one-shots you, or it doesn't one-shot you, but... we just had a lot of them spawn, and we were not able to kill them, and you can't line of sight them. Yeah, so we kept dying here because of these totems. Basically, our tank had pulled a bunch of stuff, and because Sally and I were AFK in the back because we fixed our interface, we were not able to kill the totems that spawned, and then they kept spawning, and they just kept killing us once we released. This one here. You see this? Failed batch exploding brew? On the right side, this totem. Yeah, that one has to be killed. Otherwise, it's gonna explode. Yeah, played with Gingy, Scribe, Kevin, and Celia. Thinking about you. No one knows when Alpha is actually going to be live though, right? I for sure thought it's going to be today. Hey, Chipmaker. Zit er het voor? Ja. Sen bin ich genau deiner Meinung. Okay, give me... What? I feel like there's something I have to do tomorrow, but I forgot. Oh, yeah. Nothing too crazy. Okay. Max it tomorrow, Friday. Oh, okay. Okay. I mean, it should be somewhat soon, right? Because otherwise it might completely overlap with patch release, which it already kind of does. But yeah. This is Alpha. The war within Alpha. And honestly, there's so much I can still show you as well. Like, there's the other dungeon too, and there's the delves I can show you as well. But I'm so tired, I have to sleep. I slept like 2 hours. Well, and I took a nap, so I guess 3 hours. So I think my plan is that I'm gonna go sleep now. And then I'll stream somewhat early tomorrow. I'm just gonna do... Wait, is it raining tomorrow? Wait. Okay, it doesn't seem to be raining. It's cold though, holy shit. 3 degrees. Whoa. Oh my god, it's gonna stay cold this whole time. Dude, I can't believe it was 30 degrees on Sunday and now it's 6 or 3. What is this? I don't like it. Huh. Yeah, if Alpha is live tomorrow, honestly, it doesn't really matter when Alpha is live because I don't have to play Alpha as it goes live because I have a lot of stuff to show even without it being live, right? So I think I should stream early in the morning and show the Alpha footage that I have. It's better because once Alpha is live, everyone has footage. So it's better to stream earlier for me. But, yeah, I'll think about it. I'll probably stream around, let's say 11, 10, 11, something like that. But yeah, I'm gonna leave for today. And there's so many stories I have to tell you still. From London. I have so many stories to tell you. But yeah, we'll do all of that tomorrow. I'm gonna host you to someone that was in London with me, if someone's streaming from the content creators that were in London. Doctoria is streaming, but he streams in German, I guess. Doctoria was great. Dude, Max is farming the viewers. Let's just watch the Wowhead stream. Yeah, I'm gonna host the Wowhead stream. You're gonna see the most information there, I guess. Awa! Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a nice time without me. Hope you missed me a lot. I hope you cried every day when I wasn't streaming. And I see you guys tomorrow at around, let's say 11 a.m., noon. We'll see you. Maybe earlier. If I don't decide to work out in the morning, then I might stream earlier even. But I'll see. We were like Bird Lady who? Pockets. Hi guys, enjoy your golden kappa, by the way, whoever got it earlier. Make sure you spam it everywhere. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. Remember to follow my stream if you haven't yet. Check out my YouTube channel. I posted a video about the alpha footage on my YouTube channel, so definitely check that out. And follow my YouTube channel, follow my Instagram, all that stuff. And have fun watching the Wowhead stream. See you tomorrow, guys. Have a good night. Goodbye.